There's only one reason why I'll wait 9,632 seconds in the rain. It's plant mail. Where is the mailman? Oh, he already delivered it on my doorstep. To be clear, I don't wait in the rain for every single plant, but this is an imported plant. Imported plants go through quite a journey to get to your doorstep. They require phytosanitary certificates. They get inspected in customs to make sure there's no pests. And so by the time they finally get to your door, it could be several weeks living inside this box, so you want to act quickly. This is actually also a great way to find more expensive or hard to find plants for cheaper. Don't cut the leaf, don't cut the leaf, don't cut the leaf. I've done that before. So here she is, the Anthurium warqueanum, or Queen Anthurium for short, because who the heck knows how to pronounce this thing. And like any sane plant parent, I'm just taking a moment to play with my new toy.
Meet your new friend.
Imported plants usually come bare root, meaning that they're not planted in any substrate. This is just wrapped around in some wet moss, and there's very minimal roots. And then I came to the realization that I just spent the last hour being an idiot. I should have been tending to this severely dehydrated plant. The first thing you should do when you bring home an imported plant is to rehydrate it. I'm putting in a few drops of probiotics to feed the plant, and a few drops of yucca extract, which is really good at rehydrating plants. And then I'm just dunking this entire plant in here and letting it soak for at least an hour, which gives me just enough time to clean up because I unbox plants like a 2-year-old and I need to gather some supplies. This is my favorite mode of transportation indoors. I need a plastic cup as well as some moss. I normally have pre-moistened moss in a bag, but it got a little bit moldy and so I just need to open up a fresh batch. Sphagnum moss is gross, but it's a really great rooting medium. It actually holds 20 times its weight in water. It does need to be rehydrated because it comes in this dry form. And once it's soaked for a few minutes, I just squeeze out all of the excess water because you want it to be nice and fluffy and moist. You don't want it to be soaking wet. This is the texture I'm going for. And then I just wrap it up, making sure all the roots are nice and covered. Root crack! What I call root crack is actually a mycorrhizae inoculant. It helps roots absorb nutrients. It promotes better root development. It helps prevent transplant shock. Just so many benefits, so I always sprinkle it whenever I do some repotting. I'm packing this moss pretty tightly into this plastic drinking cup that I save when I go to restaurants. And the most important part about rehabbing imported plants is humidity. These plants are likely coming from very high humid conditions in their native environment, so you want to replicate that. And my husband's hat box should do just perfectly for that. Now, I do have a greenhouse cabinet that I weather strip to hold in the humidity, but the humidity here is only about 67% right now, and these imported plants need a lot higher humidity, nearly 100%. Hence, this clear hat box with the lid, because why do these hats need to be in a clear box? This was obviously designed to be an ICU box for plants. I know some of you thought I was just going to fall asleep in front of my greenhouse, but I actually have to pack for a business trip, so I won't be able to see these plants for a few days. Looking pretty good. I am going to lose that older leaf, but that's fine, and I swear these are new roots already starting to develop. But I have an update on this queen. There's a new leaf. Look at all those roots going crazy growing out of this cup. It is so happy in this ICU box. Update time! It has now been 3 months. 3 months since I got this import, and she really needs to be potted up and out of this moss. So this is actually the newest leaf, and it actually doesn't look too great. It's not really darkening up like the other leaves, but I'm also aware that when it comes to imports, especially with the Anthurium queen like this, it may take several leaves before it actually acclimates and begins to look like one of the original leaves. I'm also losing the oldest leaf too. The bane of my existence is trying to find, like I have plenty of clear pots I can pot up my plants in, but I can never find the perfect fitting cover pot. And it drives me crazy because this is actually a big reason why I procrastinate replanting some plants, is because I don't have the perfect outer decorative pot to put it in. But my friend Winnie actually 3D prints her own cover pots to fit the plastic pots perfectly.
It's perfect!
And because this cover pot is slightly larger than this net pot, you can actually make it self-watering by putting a cotton wick through the bottom and adding a reservoir of water underneath, so it'll slowly self-water the plant, which is exactly what I'm gonna do because these like water. Now for self-watering setups to work, the substrate or soil needs to be slightly more moisture retentive. It can't be too chunky because the wick needs to be able to soak up the water and soak up the substrate. So if it's too chunky, it can't saturate the rest of the soil. So I'm gonna be using a mix of tree fern fiber, cocoa coir, I have no idea, coconut fiber, and perlite. I've never used tree fern fiber before, so this is gonna be my first time experimenting with it, and I'm really excited. Oh my gosh, it's so stuck in there. Like, look at those roots circling the pot. Oh my god, I can't get it out. And I don't want to yank on this. Maybe a little bit. Oh my gosh, I can't. It's like really packed in there. I may need to cut this open. I can never find my real scissors. These are my 5-year-old scissors. Don't cut the roots, don't cut the roots. Hooray! Wow, that is just one solid mass of roots. Now I need to remove all this moss. It's my least favorite part, working with moss, but it does root things really well. It's gonna take me hours. There's like no place where there's just like a chunk of moss I can rip out. I don't know what to do. I think I need to just dunk this in water and see if I can loosen up the moss that way. And it's also time for me to pick up my son from school. So I'm gonna leave this in water and come back to it. This is as much as I was able to do in like 15 minutes. Okay, here. And hopefully the water will just loosen this up. This is why I hate moss. Ooh, this totally worked. Oh my gosh, should have done this from the beginning. I mean, still annoying, but much easier. So satisfying when you can get like a big chunk all at once. Look at all these roots. This is amazing. 3 months. Very successful growing in this hat box / ICU box. 90% there. I feel like this is as good as it's gonna get. Pretty freaking good with very, very minimal root loss. Yay me. And even though I already sprinkled root crack on it in the very beginning, I feel like because I just messed with the roots so much, I'm gonna just do it one more time. The before and after comparison of the roots though is so insane. This is so light and fluffy. Ooh, it looks so good. Okay, now I need to make the nutrient-rich cocktail that this is going to sit in so that it can soak up. I normally make my 5-gallon container nutrient solution, but I'm too lazy right now, so I'm just gonna do 1 gallon instead. I like things being multi-purpose, and this works with soil, semi-hydro, leca, so it's very convenient. Yummy! Do my best not to spill on the white rug. And that wick is gonna thoroughly saturate all that soil and continuously keep this moist. Perfection. I'm obsessed with how this looks. So I definitely consider this importing process a success. I am gonna continue to keep it in my plant ICU box, so it's just in higher humidity, just because I want to just keep it in the environment that it's used to being in. And it may be a while before I get the beautiful long dark leaves, but I'm confident that she will get there. Very happy with how this turned out, which just makes me think I should totally start importing more plants again.